roads, railways, bridges, infrastructures, water supply system, and buildings. These are some of the advances and innovations that made our lives very convenient. And it can't be denied that these constructions continue to develop as time ages. And the mind and backbone of these structures, the civil engineers.
What comes to your mind when you hear the word civil engineering?
Mahirap.
Pag-isipan nyo muna since yung mga subjects sobrang hirap.
Magaling siguro sa math.
Siya na mahirap and puro math din.
Mapasok lang po sa isip ko is dalawang bagay, mathematics and construction.
It holds the power po to change the future po.
Kadalasan they're involved in on-site construction, sila yung nagmamanage, sila yung nagpa-plan.
But it seems that people still have some misconceptions left with their mind that either made this field seem to lose its true identity.
Common misconception dyan pagdating sa soil study, hindi na kailangan yun. Assume na lang natin ganito yung strength ng lupa.
Gusto ko mas safe. Pero tinitingnan mo yung budget. Paano kung over-design?
Ang magiging competent na transportation engineer ay yung engineer na nagtatanong ng questions. If you don't know the answer to it, ask questions.
But sometimes, we do not aim for bigger project. We aim for project availability.
There's no perfect construction. So, no one can tell that each and every construction works the same.
It is time to clear out all the wrong notions and get to know what truly a civil engineer. Civil engineering is a professional engineering discipline that deals with the design, construction, and maintenance of the physical and natural environment, including public works such as roads, bridges, canals, dams, airports, sewerage systems, pipelines, structural components of buildings, and railways. It has 5 specializations, which are construction, geotechnical, water resources, transportation, and structural. We invited one engineer of each specializations to get a chance on understanding deeply what truly is their chosen field.
I'm Mark J. Armario, so PUP batch 2016. I'm currently working as a design engineer at AMH Philippines Incorporated. So AMH is an employee-owned consulting company. So we have different fields na pinapractice, but ako ay naka-assign sa geotechnical engineering. To share lang, some projects na involved na ako. One is the Metro Manila Subway Project. Yan. So kami yung nag-handle ng geotechnical investigation ng Metro Manila Subway Project. Then some geotechnical evaluation ng mga residential areas, residential buildings, then geotechnical evaluation and tile capacity analysis ng mga solar power plant. Currently, assigned ako sa reclamation project naman sa ng expansion ng Manila International Container Terminal, so sa may pier. So merong expansion na gagawin ngayon doon, and yun, part ako ng team doon sa project na yun.
I was a graduate of Mapua Institute of Technology, now Mapua University. I'm practicing my profession almost 12 years because I got my license May 2011. The first half of my life, I'm practicing structural and geotechnical. But sooner or later, I shifted to quality control, which is actually an introduction to your construction engineering.
Alvin Deliro. I'm a freelance engineer. And currently, I'm earning my master's at Cavite State University with a degree of MS Civil Engineering major in Structural Engineering.
My name is Engineer John Manuel Burhel. I graduated my BS Civil Engineering at Mapua and took my master's degree of Civil Engineering at UP Diliman. I have a full-time job which is named Burhel Pre-Consult. It's a consulting firm. We do designs related to specialization of hydropower systems. I'm a part-time professor also for around 7 years already at FEU, Institute of Technology. I also gathered some various published papers. If you can just Google my name, then it will just appear. Some various research, especially in my field of specialization.
My name is Gabriel Agito Bughao. I'm a graduate of PUP, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. So while I was in my bachelor's level education, I majored in construction engineering. So for my second job, I entered into a transportation engineering consulting firm, which is Sistra. There I was able to gain transportation planning, transportation engineering knowledge. After that, I worked for an Australian firm. I was based in the Philippines, but I was working on Australian projects, specifically in Western Australia. So the company is Cardno, which was recently acquired by Stantec. So there, I was able to practice and gather knowledge about international standards, which I used as leverage in applying to my new job today. I'm working for GHD. I think wala pa akong 6 months sa firm na to. But sobrang naging advantage na nakapag-work ka sa international firm bago ka lumipat sa isa pang international firm.
So ayun, good day po, engineer. Given that there are a lot of misconceptions and wrong notions about your specialization, for the first question po, what really is your specialization all about?
Construction engineer, or you may say construction manager, is actually the one who implements what is written on the drawing or what is based on your recommendation. So basically, as I experienced it myself firsthand, okay, if you're a designer and an analyst on structural engineering and geotechnical engineering, you are the ones who are making the documentations and the plans. While as a construction engineer and manager, you are the one who are implementing those drawings. Out of the fields, out of the 5 fields also, I also said that it is all about decision making, because whether you like it or not, in the middle of construction, you will encounter a problem. There's no perfect construction. So you will encounter problems on the spot. So whatever that is written in the book is not necessarily that reliable. So you need to talk to a lot of professionals in order to be assured of what you're going to do in the implementation part and decision.
Geotechnical engineering, more on, it's about soil and rock. Yan. So, pag sinabi kasi civil engineering, more on buildings, more on structures. But we have to deal with first with soil. Siyempre doon itatayo yung structure natin sa lupa. So we need to have a good foundation. So that's where geotechnical engineers tawag dito. Yun kung saan pumapasok yung geotechnical engineers. It's more on design of foundation, evaluation of soil properties, assigning parameters from different correlations.
Structural engineering is a sub-discipline of civil engineering. Okay? It deals with the analysis and the design okay, of structures. Ayun, more on sa theory tayo pagdating sa pag ikaw ay naging structural engineer.
Water sources engineering deals with the study of water, of course. It involves hydrology subjects, water resources subjects, irrigation projects, and so on. Of course, even fluid mechanics and hydraulics. So it tackles every aspect of any related water project. So what are water projects? It can be a water supply project. It can be a hydropower project. So it can be a tourism project that involves water and so on.
So transportation engineering is actually the analysis and engineering approach to making people's lives better through movement of people themselves. It doesn't matter if you're moving through the use of walking or your feet, riding a vehicle, using public transportation, as long as everything is being done effectively, efficiently, and most importantly, safe yung mga tao. Yun yung nagiging goal ng transportation engineering.
So yun, thank you for those responses po, engineer. For the next question, why should we pick the same specialization po?
There are many perspectives on how to answer the question actually. For example, as I start to shift my specialization from design, structural design and geotechnical to construction, okay? It is the same way that you are it is just like the way you make your dreams come true actually. Like imagine yourself that when you're doing plans is the same as you are reading a fairy tale, and when you are witnessing that it is constructed, it's the same way that your wishes are coming. That's my idea in general.
Siguro based na lang sa experience ko, no, doon na lang ako mag-aano. Kasi ang geotechnical engineering ano siya very very ano siya, open kumbaga. Kasi pagdating sa structural, you have the codes ganyan. When meron kang sinusundang codes. Pagdating sa geotechnical engineering, it's empirical. When you say empirical, more on nagbe-base tayo sa mga lab test results ganyan. So kumbaga kung gusto mo ng challenge, kumbaga, hindi ko naman sinasabing hindi challenging yung ibang field, no? Pero kung gusto mo ng challenge, ganyan.
Kasi ang dami na kasing construction management na specialization, di ba? So, doon na lahat sa construction. So, why not to get also, another specialization? I choose structural engineering, okay, na specialization because more on sa yun nga, yung sinabi ko sa inyo, theory, more on sa computations, more on physics, di ba? We study the forces, then paano mag-stand yung structure kapag merong malaking yung mga natin ngayon is yung earthquake. So ang dami ng structure, ang dami ng structures na kailangan nang i-analyze, need to kailangan ng structural analysis para ma-determine natin kung mag-stand pa ba yung mga structures natin, yung mga buildings natin, yung mga bridges natin.
For me, personal experience, because this is my passion. And second, because of the demand, because there are many peoples like structural, so they are too dense already. But in the field of water, we are few. So since we are few, there are more projects or more work related to our field of specialization. And third thing also is some water engineers can do structural in a limited way, but structural people cannot do water in a very basic way.
For transportation engineering, we have the demand. However, we don't have the supply. Salary-wise, the best siguro is si transportation. Yeah, and I also like to add, hindi naman in terms of salary, but in terms of professional growth, mabilis yung growth mo kapag nasa transportation ka. Kasi yung usual mo mga ka-work, mga expat, meaning yung mga galing sa ibang bansa, dadayo dito para mag-knowledge transfer. Or actually, hindi sila na knowledge transfer. Nag-i-import tayo ng mga expat, ng mga foreigners to work on transportation projects because we don't have those expertise here in the Philippines. So what happens is, if you're in the transportation field and in the same group as that foreigner, you get to learn from him.
Thank you, engineer, for sharing your ideas about why we should pick your specialization. For my final question, what are the skills that we should develop by now to be prepared by taking your specialization?
Number one, first and foremost, be patient. Number two, number two, be understanding on the other stakeholders, or should I say, other part of the project. In the entire project, we are under the same code known as the National Building Code of the Philippines. But in addition to that, other stakeholders, owners, structural designer, architect, are also following other provisions beyond the knowledge of the construction engineers. Okay, so of course, if you're going to make a very good decision, okay, be sure that you have to take all into consideration the the provisions that they are following. Okay?
Siguro yung basic talaga no, nung sa CE, yung problem solvings, yung pag-solve ng different formulas, ganyan. Kasi pagdating sa geotechnical engineering, it's more on formula. Kung kanina sinabi ko na walang code, no, pero sa geotechnical engineering, marami kasing formula. And siguro pagbabasa ng mga research paper, no, kasi sa geotechnical engineering, you need to be updated lagi, no? Kasi from time to time nagbabago yung approach, kasi sabi ko nga 'di ba, walang sinusundang code.
So you need to be good with people kasi you get to talk to people a lot. So hindi lang siya yung one team ka for the rest of your life or for the duration of the project. You get to talk to clients, the affected communities.
Number one skills, of course, you must be computer literate. You must know the basic programs related to water programs, because most of the water programs are in the computer are freeware, and there are lots of tutorial version in the YouTube, so it is easy to learn.
That would be all for my question. The next that would raise her question is Darlene Viray.
So for our third question, given the world is adopting technology and AI is on a fast pace, do you think there will still be opportunities in the future ahead of this specialization?
Yes. Kaya nga meron tayong mga softwares. Sinong gagamit yun? Tayo pa rin. Tayo na magiging structural engineer. So mas maganda kasi mas madali na yung pag-calculate, calculations madali na due to technology. Yun yung mga software na ginagamit natin sa pagdi-design. Yun, meron tayong ETABS, meron tayong STAAD, safe. So mas naka-align pa rin tayo kung gusto nyo talaga maging structural engineer.
Oo naman. Kaya na nabanggit ko kanina, you need to be good with people. Yung AI, hindi naman niya kayang gawin yun. Diba? Hindi niya kayang i-take over yung trabaho mo. Like, maybe, if we have AI, you'll only do yung mga basic na trabaho. But for this one, you still do the bulk work sa mga projects. And also, the AI can do site surveys. They can't do data gathering na pupunta sila on-site, titignan nila yung lahat na yun, process nila information. They can't do that. Kayo as transportation engineers or future transportation engineers, hopefully, magagawa niyo yun. And also, yung paano nyo i-interpret yung data na mapoproduce ng isang transportation model. So, kayo, magagawa nyo. But software or maybe the AI can't do that?
Related to AI, I think it's very hard to AI water projects, not compare for structural projects because structural projects are procedural. For water projects, there are many factors involved. So if you're going to input AI technology in a certain water projects, I think it's very complex.
Malaking tulong yung mga software. Like, ngayon sa work namin, marami kaming software na ginagamit like Civil 3D, Leak SVS, Fluxys, ano pa ba? Rocklab, yun. So, different softwares for different evaluation for geotechnical engineering. So, yes, there's much more opportunities sa geotechnical engineering kasi maraming nade-develop na na software.
If our ask, okay, should we go with AI? The answer is not entirely. Why is that? Because number one, no one can actually predict the behavior of human. Even artificial intelligence cannot predict the exact behavior of any human. Please take note that we are born different, each and every one of us. If AI could actually predict, or rather can understand the behavior entirely of a human, then we're typically useless.
Following that question, how is your day-to-day as a civil engineer with that kind of specialization?
I was thinking that a day-to-day life of a construction engineer is just like in a military. Why is that? One thing that you have to bear in this specialization is, number one, you have to be disciplined. Aside from waking up very early, that's number one. You need to be assured, you need to perform toolbox meetings. That is, you're going to talk directly to your workers, your laborers, and other part of the project per se.
So sa akin, day-to-day iba-iba. Merong days na petics lang, na halos walang ginagawa. Merong days na evaluation lang, basic evaluation lang yung ginagawa. And merong days na like ngayon na busy talaga, gawa ng mga may hinahabol na deadlines, gawa ng mga rush projects. Yan, gawa ng katulad ng ginagawa ko ngayon na we have 1 month lang to finish yung preliminary engineering design nung expansion project na yun sa PIA.
Challenging yan kasi hindi lang tayo nag-design basta-basta ng structure. So kailangan natin i-anticipate ngayon safe, okay? Yung safety ng occupant. Pag na-collapse yung building, ang laki ng responsibility mo. Sure. Yun. So, kailangan medyo yung oras mo talaga is nakapokus sa project.
Anong gusto niyo, yung totoo o yung ano?
Ayun, totoo po.
Okay, so at the moment lang naman, nakaupo lang ako, sumasahod ako. As in, gigising ako 8, tapos mag-aabang ako ng work from Australian firm. Wala pa rin masyadong work. Kapag dumating yon, ganito yung nagiging usual na scenario. Gising ka ng 8, you read emails. Siguro babasa ka ng emails. Tapos magbabasa ka ng chat from your counterparts. Kasi ahead yung time nila eh. Yung sa akin, 3 hours ahead sila. So, nakaka-receive na ako ng mga instructions from them, chat, or maybe they need help with something. Maaga-maaga pa, 5 pa lang nakaka-receive na ako ng email. After nun, you get to do your thing. Mostly, or most of the time, nasa bahay ka lang. Lalo na kung you work with international projects. But if you're going to work in the Philippines, you need to do site visits.
Actually, I'm just living a simple life. Day-to-day thing is, of course, go to office, analyze related to water projects. Because once you gain experience, it's not that really hard anymore. And sometimes during those experience, you keep learning throughout the process. Because what you learn in college is just 10%. But in reality, you will learn everything when you were started to work.
So for the next question po is, if you were to change a specialization, what would it be and why po?
Ah, Parang wala akong mapiling second specialization. But if ever I will answer your question, I think geotech. Because I really love how nature works because it's very challenging.
Ay, ang gandang question. Gusto ko geotech. Kasi bago ako mag-transpo, nung nagma-masters ako, gusto ko talaga mag-geotech. Kasi for me, interesting yung disaster risk reduction management in terms of mga natural hazards na related sa soil natin, like earthquake, liquefaction, yung mga ganun.
Una ko kasing trabaho is sa construction ako eh. Sa site, na-assign ako sa site. So, doon naman sa construction management, sabi nila marami daw pera doon. Pero nakakapagod naman. So, pero hindi mo lang alam, may pera din sa structural engineering. Ayun. So, ang second choice ko is construction management.
Siguro structural, no? Kasi kung pipili ako ng different specializations, syempre yung related na sa current specialization ko para hindi ganun kalaki yung adjustment. Kasi yung structural and geotechnical related kasi talaga siya, no? You can't do structural kung walang geotechnical. So, yun, kung mag-switch ako ng specialization, structural. And since undergrad, isa na rin yun sa mga ina-eye ko na specialization, yung structural engineering.
Honestly, the answer to the question, if I'm going to answer that question, it will be too subjective for me because I'm right here now on construction. I came from the design part. Okay, so is there a way that if I'm going to shift with other fields? Probably I can integrate myself with other fields further, not necessarily to shift. For example, I'm already practicing construction, but somehow I miss designing things. If you remove something that is a part of you, it's the same way. It's the same way that you are throwing something important from you. That's never say the word. Never say the word that you're going to shift from construction to other field, but you integrate yourself.
So following that question po is, what is your advice for future and fresh graduate civil engineers?
Kailangan focus, okay? Kailangan nyo ng determinasyon. Ayun. So, huwag lang kayong mapagod, mga harap. Yun lang yung ko sa inyo. Kayang-kaya nyo yan. So, wala, sunod lang sa kung ano yung gusto ng professor nyo. Magpasa lang ng mga submittals. Then, may mga books about civil engineering. So, try nyo ring magbasa-basa. So, yun. Then, practice sa pag-solve.
Para sa mga fresh and future civil engineers, huwag kayo mag-expect. Huwag kayo mag-expect masyado. Yan. Ayan. Ang civil engineering ay isang malaking scam. Joke lang. Ayan. Kasi, di ba, honestly, isa sa mga reason kung ba't tayo nag-CE, pera. Di ba? Isa yun sa mga nagpaano sa atin, isa yun sa mga nang-uto sa atin. Kumbaga, una pala gusto na natin talaga mag-civil. Pero yun, don't expect talaga pagdating sa pagka-graduate mo, hindi mo makukuha agad kung ano yung gusto mong field.
Kasi dito sa Philippines, hindi ka makakilos pag engineer ka kung wala ka lisensya eh. So let's change the question siguro. What will be my advice to students na nakuha na yung license nila? Okay. Try nyo yung different fields. Maybe go into structural and just try it. Pasok lang kayo. If you're pag hindi constrained yung money So kung okay naman kayo, well off kayo, you have the privilege to that. If you have the time to do it, go do it. Or maybe, kung wala kang time, take the job na sa tingin mo mag-enjoy ka. Tapos ask your classmates or maybe yung mga kakilala nyo, yung network nyo, anong ginagawa mo sa work? Nag-enjoy ka ba sa ginagawa mo? Para lang makuha kayo ng information sa kung ano yung nagiging day-to-day nila.
First, always understand the basic. Next, be persistent in asking questions to your professor, even then they are not. Sorry, if they are crazy, if worst comes to worst. If worst comes to worst, if your professors are crazy, for example, okay, be persistent in asking questions, but do not ask the questions on the classroom. I think you better talk to them in private.
Keep learning skills related to your field, number 1. Wag mo nang tumingin sa sweldo kasi ang sweldo is based on what skills you have. Hindi ibig sabihin na civil engineer ka, na fresh graduate, ina-expect mo mataas ang sweldo. Huwag kang tumingin kaagad sa sweldo. Tataas ang sweldo based on experience, and yung experience na yun, it means you are learning new skills throughout the process. Keep learning kahit graduate na kayo. And build the foundation na ito yung mga, let's say, after 2 years time, ito yung mga projects na na-involve ka. Then, wag gaano mamili kung punta ka dito. Ay, hindi malaking company to. Importante may work. Kasi experience is the best teacher talaga.
And for our next question po, do you think being too safe or too conservative on the safety of design in the engineering industry is good or sometimes not? And why?
Philippine setting, no. Hindi masyado na pagtutuunan ng pansin yung safety. If you take a look at the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA accident statistics, meron sila online, check nyo. Search nyo MMARAS. Kung may time lang kayo, check nyo yun. Tapos makikita nyo kung gaano karami yung accidents na na-experience natin kada taon. So, umaabot ng libo-libo. Tapos yung statistics na yon, Metro Manila lang yon. Okay? Tapos sa Metro Manila na yon, yung kasama dun sa statistics nila, yung mga major roads lang. So, paano yung mga minor roads? Wala silang record nun. Di ba? Imagine dun sa mga major roads pa lang natin, libo-libo na. But if you take a look at other countries, New Zealand, UK, Australia, their data is public. You get to check the crash or road crash data nila. Makikita nyo doon na sobrang laking issue na sa kanila kapag meron silang 100 crashes within the 5 years.
Ako po pirma, gusto ko mas safe. Mas safe talaga, too safe. Pero kapag naman, tinitingnan mo yung budget, okay? It pertains to yung cost. Paano kung over-design? Ayun, yun naman yung natin. Okay lang, ikaw yung pipirma eh. Pero how about the client? Ayun. So magagastusan siya ng malaking budget pag ganun. So siguro sa akin, so kaya tulungan rin natin yung client. Okay? Tulungan din natin. Magdi-design tayo.
In every design naman, siguro in every design, of course, whichever value yung data na makukuha niyo or results or final answer doon sa data niyo. Of course, you will not adapt it. Lagi kang magkakaroon ng, let's say, increase of sizes. So, then, kumbaga safety factor na tinatawag. Kuwari, ang nakuha mong height ng dam is, let's say, 5 meters, or width ng dam is, let's say, 5 meters. Of course, based on your computation, pasado na siya ng 5 meters. But, syempre, hindi mo siya literal na i-design ng 5 meters. Medyo lalakihan mo para medyo, alam mo yun, 10%, apply mo 10%. So, that's 5 let's say, 05. O wala namang, let's say, 5.05. So, to be practical, 5.1 or 5.2 something. So, lagi ka may safety factor.
It depends, no? Depende sa project. Pero yung pagiging too conservative, syempre may naman yun. May implications yan. Lahat naman may implications. Lahat may pros and cons. Pero If you say na too conservative, syempre, isa sa mga maapektuhan yun yung pagiging economical ng isang project. May kasi meron kaming isang project na ganyan na isang Japanese consultant na. Kasi pagdating sa mga Japanese, masyadong conservative ang mga Japanese. So, sometimes nagiging over-design. So, yun nga, hindi na nagiging economical. And sometimes, parang sa pagiging conservative, hindi na nami-meet lahat ng kailangan.
It is a requirement that what you are constructing must be safe. That's number one. Okay? But not too conservative. But not too conservative because it will literally end your career on the financial aspect. Ayun, for example, kung magsisimula ka pa lang ng I must say this in Filipino, kung magsisimula ka pa lang ng construction, lugi ka na agad. Okay? Kaya as much as possible, alamin mo yung side ng tatawag na safe boundaries and so.
Following that question, what is your experience with job application? Do you find it difficult? And if so, why or why not?
Job difficult for related to water projects is very easy. For me, even yung mga naging former student ko na nagtatrabaho ngayon, nung nag-apply sila sa mga water companies, kasi maraming water companies, merong private, merong government. Nung in-apply nila yung position na yun, kasi walang gustong mag-apply doon. So, nakuha kaagad sila. So, typical supply and demand. Wala ganang kumukuha ng position na yun doon kasi nga hindi naman sila related sa water. Hindi sila interested doon sa position na yun. So, ang talagang kukuha lang sa mga position na yun, yung mga water engineers na or gustong matuto na maging water engineer.
At first, sobrang hirap ng mga job applications. Parang naisip ko when I was applying for jobs, I need to impress the hiring manager. Kasi may dalawang phase yan eh. The first phase will be the screening ng HR sa'yo. Yung CV mo, pasok ba dun sa requirements ng hiring manager or tingin ko ba as an HR fit ka dito sa company namin. Once na malagpasan mo yon, kailangan mo nang i-back up yung interview skills mo with technical knowledge. Kasi ang kakausapin mo na yung hiring manager or yung magiging boss mo. So kapag ganun, dapat confident ka sa kung ano yung kaya mong gawin. Okay? So noong mga times na yon, sobrang kabado ko kasi hindi ako confident. Tapos na-realize ko, well actually meron akong friend. Dati ko siyang boss, Austrian siya. Sinabi niya sa akin na when it comes to interview, Gab, you need to sell yourself less and make the company sell themselves to you. Yung sabi. Tapos ginawa ko siya. Ginawa ko siya for my current job. And ang nangyari, yung salary ko from my previous job, nag-jump ako ng more than 50% dahil ginawa ko yung advice niya.
Civil engineer ka kasi, hindi mahirap eh. Kasi ang dami ring project, ang dami nating projects, dami ng ngayon, dami ng tinatay mga structures doon nga sa DPWH, di ba? Ngayon, so kailangan nila ng maraming engineers, kailangan engineers na mag-design, okay? Mag-design sa mga projects, okay? So, I believe civil engineering career is not hindi mahirap. Basta ka lang.
Yes. Ayun, mahirap talaga. Hindi naman sobrang hirap na, pero kung ako tatanungin, as much as possible, ayoko nang mag-apply ulit. Kasi magre-ready kang requirements, mapapagod ka sa interviews, ganyan. Mahirap mag-apply. Pero kung gusto mo namang kung mayroon ka talagang target, may target position ka talaga na, kung may target job ka talaga na gusto mo makuha, syempre wala naman yung hirap na yun. Kung in the end, makukuha mo naman yung gusto mo.
Naging smooth, basta para sa akin masasabi ko, smooth naman yung naging job application ko sa awa ng Diyos. Maswerte ako, I must say the word, maswerte ako dahil natanggap ako. Kasi sabi ko, thousands ang kalaban ko. Kaso sabi ko lang sa isip-isip ko, whether you pass or you fail on the job interview, okay. At the end of the day, still engineer ka pa rin. Okay? May lisensya ka pa rin. Hindi ka naman nawalan. Okay? Basta importante lang kapag nag-practice ka, gawin mo ng wasto yung duties mo and do not violate any form of any of the 7 canons of ethics that we have in the Philippines.
For my question po, is it true that the bigger the project, the better it will be for you and your career po?
Yes, of course. Kapag mas malaki yung project na, halimbawa, unang project mo, malaki na yung hinawakan mo, marami kang makukuhang aral doon. Marami kang mga iba-ibang experience, okay? Mas malaki project, mas okay. Pero
I think yes, no, kasi panglagay natin sa sa CV natin na ayun nga, in relation na rin siguro sa previous question, kung makita nung employer na involved ka sa ganitong projects, so you have the edge. Pero at the same time, bigger projects syempre mas mahirap.
In general aspect, it's a yes. But we do not aim for bigger project. We aim for project availability. Kasi let's say you have one big project pero na-miss mo yung 3 maliliit na opportunity. So it depends on the availability.
Sa akin kasi hindi eh. Nung nag-apply ako for my job sa Cardno, that's the first Australian firm na pinagtrabahuhan ko, hindi siya ganun ka-attractive sa CV. Kasi titignan nung boss mo, magiging boss mo yung CV, makikita, oh, ito lang yung projects na napagtrabahuhan mo. Anong ginawa mo dito? Diba? Tapos i-explain mo sa kanila. Tapos yung i-explain mo, so paulit-ulit yung ginagawa mo araw-araw. Parang ganun. Paano ka nag-gain ng knowledge? Gaano mo to katagal ginawa? So, imagine yung difference ng mga ng practices natin. So, kapag mas mabilis sila natatapos yung project, mas marami kang projects na mahahawakan. So, kung ikukumpara ko, yung konting projects pero malalaki compared sa mga mid-size project pero madami. Mas go ako dun sa mid-size project.
Not exactly yung laki ng project, but something to do with yung distinction ng project. Anong ibig sabihin ko sa part na yun? Halimbawa gito, may mga contractors or builder, para mas builders kasi na naka-specialize sa mga warehouses, for example. Okay? So basically, in a deeper perspective ko kasi, pag naka-specialize ka lang at hindi ka lang nakafocus sa isang klase ng structure, talagang walang growth ang nangyayari. That's legit. Kaso, kapag yung pagiging builder mo ay hindi lang limitado sa mga warehouses, mga other buildings, that will define yung growth ng project. Kasi yun yung tinatawag na papalawig ng yung portfolio of achievements.
Following that question, what is the hardest to handle in your specialization? Clients that require a lot of things but in detail, or clients that do not drop any specific things they want and leave everything to you?
mas maganda sa akin yung ikaw na bahala. Ikaw na bahala mag-design. Ayan, yun yung ko. Mas maganda yun. Kasi yung gusto ko, hindi ka papakialaman. Okay? May mga client kasi na kailangan niya talaga malaman lahat. So, basta sa'yo, okay. Basta nasa tama ka. Kasi, halimbawa, for example, ganito. Yung client gusto niya, yung client mo is gusto niya huwag lagyan ng poste sa gitna ng bahay. Tayo naman na engineer,
Tayo naman sa mga civil engineer, hindi pwede. Okay? Hindi pwede. Kasi walang susuporta. Okay? Walang susuporta sa
Ang mahirap yung may client na ito yung gusto. Then pag na-provide mo yung gusto nila, meron pa pala silang ibang gusto. So hindi initial dun sa pinag-usapan nyo ng una. So that's 90% of my clients. Marami pa palang hinihingi na parang nung nakita na nila yung output, doon sila nagkakaroon ng idea na meron pa pala silang ganitong gusto, ganito, ganun, ganun. Kumbaga maraming pinapadagdag na wala naman pala sa original.
Actually, either the two mahirap. Mag-i-honest ako sa inyo, mahirap. Pareho. Even though na may at least 5 years naman ako sa construction though, okay, hindi mo mapipredict yung ugali ng mga kliyente. Kasi ganito yan ang siguradong ugali ng mga kliyente na common is number one, they have the money, they have the power. I apologize for the term that I use Dito kasi sa Pilipinas, wala po kasing liability ang mga kliyente. Yung mga kalokohan, with all due respect lang po, you might say that I'm speculating this one, but yung mga additional features ng building na hindi naman nakalagay sa plano na gusto ipadagdag mismo on the spot ng mga kliyente, kinokontrol ka nila by means of the money that you have. Yung that they have, sorry.
Siguro kung napanood yung yung interview yung video ni Slater tsaka ni architect Oliver. Ayun, nandun din yan eh. Pero agree ako dun sa sinabi nila na ang hardest client to deal with is yung hindi nagbibigay ng details. Hindi nagbibigay kung ano yung gusto nila. Kasi mahirap yun eh, parang hula-hula ka lang. Ganun. Hindi mo alam kung saan ka mag-i-start. Hindi mo alam kung anong gagawin mo. Ganyan. And for example, may ginawa kang isang item, then hindi niya pala gusto. Sa dulo niya pa sinabi. So, sayang yung pagod mo. So, mas okay na sa una pa lang, ibigay niya na lahat ng gusto niya. At least, meron kang sinusundan dun sa gagawin mo. Kaysa dun sa sabihin ng client, bahala ka na.
Well, pag clients mo sila, talagang iiwan nila sa'yo lahat ng gawain. Kasi isipin ng mga yun, nagbabayad ako, ba't kita tutulungan? Which is tama naman, di ba? Kaya nga nandito yung pera ko para gamitin mo to do the job. Okay? So, kung ako tatanungin, ang mahirap na, yung isa sa mga hardest experience when it comes to clients, if your client is from the government, sobrang daming demand niyan. And yung demands nila, hindi commensurate dun sa budget na binibigay. So, you need to adjust. Imagine, it's not included in the scope. So, meaning, hindi siya kasama dun sa listahan na kailangan mong gawin based on sa contract. But it's the government. Diba? They want this to happen. So, you're going to add it. Even though na wala siya sa budget, wala siya sa contract. Mapipilitan kang ilagay yun. Not unless, magmamatigas ka and talagang you'll stand your ground. Kaya kapag ginawa mo yun, baka hindi ka na manalo ng mga projects.
That's all po for my questions po. So for the next set of questions po, Mr. Maki, the floor is now yours po. Thank you.
So now, engineer, we are down to our last 3 questions. So for our next fourth, what makes a competent and efficient civil engineer based on your specialization?
Ang definition ko kasi ng pagiging magaling na construction engineer kasi is kung napapasunod mo yung mga builders. In comparison naman kasi sa mga builders kasi, number one, wala silang technical knowledge. Okay? Yung construction engineer meron. Okay? Ngayon, bilang isang construction engineer at ikaw nakakaalam nung kadulo-dulo, yung pinakapulot-dulo ng lahat, okay? Ang duty mo dito is kailangan magaling kang maglatag ng instruction.
Yung pagiging updated sa different methods, different studies, different research papers. Yun yung isa sa mga magiging edge mo kung ikaw ay isang geotechnical engineer. Kung lagi kang updated sa mga bagong studies na lumalabas.
Siyempre, ang magaling na structural engineer is hindi lang sa trabaho. Kailangan mo rin ng paano ka makipag-coordinate, ayun, interpersonal skills. Ayun, so ganun. kailangan ibenta mo yung sarili mo.
Of course, you must, if you want to be competent, aside from the skills, at least you have a forecast of the output that you are doing. Let's say, if you do this before you started doing it, you have a output in mind, what is gonna happen. If you realize that already, it means that your skills has been evolved.
Gandang question na. Siguro you ask questions. Ayun yung naiisip ko. Kasi nung una mong tinanong, inisip ko agad, bibigyan kita ng impressive na answer na kailangan matalino ka, kailangan magaling ka dito. Pero after thinking about it, naisip ko ang magiging competent na transportation engineer ay yung engineer na nagtatanong ng questions. If you don't know the answer to it, ask question. If you don't know how to do it, ask questions. Kasi that's how you learn by asking questions, by being curious.
Following that, what are the common myths and misconceptions in this specialization?
Sa mga siguro sa mga clients, sa mga sa mga nagpapagawa ng bahay. Common misconception diyan pagdating sa soil study, hindi na kailangan 'yun. Hindi basta may structural engineer ako, okay na. Assume na lang natin ganito yung strength ng lupa. So yan, isa yan sa mga common misconception siguro and common myth na madali lang or hindi importante.
Na focus na kayo sa pag-fix ng traffic. Na yung mga transportation engineers, since traffic dito sa mga urban areas natin, fault nila yon. Pag sinabing traffic engineers kayo, nire-resolbahan nyo lang yung traffic. That's not true. You also resolve issues ng paggalaw ng mga trucks. Ano nangyayari kapag hindi kumilos yung trucks? Hindi mapupunta yung mga raw goods, raw supplies from point A to the factory. Hindi siya mapaprocess. Pag hindi siya na-process, walang products. Pag walang products, walang ibebenta. Kapag walang ibebenta, walang pera papasok sa company na yon. Kapag walang pumasok na pera sa company na, hindi mag-circulate yung money. So, magkakaroon tayo ng problem sa economy.
Structural engineering, sabi nila, wala daw pera dyan Nasa CM daw, sabi nila. Pero hindi Marami pa din Kailangan na ngayon ng mga structural engineer, lalo na mga natin, mga kailangan i-redesign yung mga old structures, mga church, ayun, di ba? May mga church ngayon na madaling kumuho kasi ginawa nung matagal na.
Siguro yung sinasabi nila na maraming pera, nakatingin sila doon sa mga successful na engineers na. So, they're giving conception about engineers na maraming pera. But if you're going to see at the totality, of course, merong mababa, merong mataas. So it's really based on what perspective it is. But if let's say fresh graduate ka, tulad nung sinabi ko sa inyo, pero kung yung nagsasalita nun is nakatingin lang sa fresh graduate, of course, hindi niya sasabihin na ang civil engineers ay mataas ang sweldo. So,
kung tutusin niya, luging-lugi pa ang mga engineers. The question is, bakit nagkaroon ng idea na yung mga engineers ay maraming ganun? Kasi po dahil sa kotse. As simple as that. Dahil makita mo may kotse na.
Mayaman na po na.
Kasi ibig sabihin kasi, kumbaga ever since, before pa kayong pinanganak, for example, okay, ang measurement nila na mayaman may mga datong yung mga engineers, may mga kotse na. Well, in fact, yung kotse ay hindi po yun luxury. It's actually a necessity.
So for our last question, what are the possible good paying jobs for this specialization?
Bilang isang structural engineer, kapag nalink ka sa mga malalaking projects like DPWH, ayun, kunin kang consultant, kunin kang designer, malaki din. Saka dito bilang isang pag ikaw ay isang structural engineer, ang puhunan mo lang is yung utak mo.
Na-experience ko na maging transportation planner. And transportation planner ako ngayon. I also have an experience being a traffic engineer. So for traffic engineer naman, maganda rin yung salary, very decent. Okay, above market pa rin siya. For transportation modeler, well, I didn't actually get that title, transportation modeler. Pero yung activity, tasks and projects na nahawakan ko as a traffic engineer and also as a transportation planner involves transportation modeling. And I believe kung merong sariling job title yung transportation modeler, very decent din yung salary niya.
Actually, the one that I know is actually dangerous. Para sabihin ito, mataas because of hazard pay, I guess. Usually kasi ang mga nasa high paying jobs kasi sa construction, kasi sa mga sa side ng infrastructure. Infrastructure is composed of the roads, highway, and bridges to be exact. Kasi lahat ng nandoon is yung tinatawag na heavy construction kung describe. If maging effective dito sa Pilipinas, pwedeng dumagdag sa listahan yung tinatawag na tunnel engineering. Yung tunnel construction na sinasabi.
Pag geotechnical engineering, parang consultancy talaga ang bagsak mo eh. Siguro pwede kang yung drilling contractor. Siguro isa yun sa mga good paying job, yung drilling contractor. Pero you need big capital naman doon. Pero in general, pag geotechnical engineering, it's more on consultancy.
Marami. Example, in a private firm, there are water supply projects or water supply office. For example, Maynilad, Manila Water. But I think hindi ganun sila kataas magsweldo sa mga beginners. Sa mga managers sila medyo mas mataas. What else? Government, NIA projects, and NIA offices, National Irrigation Administration, NWRB. So that's for water-related projects.
We are grateful that you shared some of your opinions and experiences with us on your specialization since they help us learn a lot, especially because we all know that pursuing an engineering course is challenging. In the future, we'll use the information you've given us to advance as engineers and be more effective. We want to thank you once again for your time and we really hope to see you again soon.
I'm Jamarc Andre Dolientas.
I'm Darlene Nicole Garay.
I'm Jasper Neil T. Fruto.
I'm Phoebe Handayan.
I'm Jaman Imran.
And I am Maki Panargayo saying, gagamitin ang karunungan
mula sa iyo para sa bayan.
It is timeless. It is more than just its name.
Civil engineering is a puzzle that, when you put together, forms various learnings and experiences to design and construct.
Civil engineers distinguish the problems of the civilians and try to solve them, which depends on their specialization that makes civilian lives more convenient.
Their creative and constructive intellect is used to turn ideas into reality, even as technology evolves rapidly.
That is why, as early as now, it is vital for aspiring civil engineers to choose a specialization.
A path where they can grow and be better versions of themselves.
Gather round now, look at me. Respect and love the only way. If you wanna come with me. The door is open now every day. This 1+2 rendezvous, all invited. This what we do, how we do. Look who we are. We are the dreamers. We make it happen. Guess we believe it.